Hello class, this is Oscar Paz for HIM5340. The project management tool I will be presenting are charts. This is an overview of the presentation. First, we will go through the introduction to charts, examples of charts, charts in project management, chart anatomy, an example of using a chart for a project, and takeaways from the presentation. Introduction. Charts are used to visually summarize data. Charts can display qualitative or quantitative data. They have many purposes that include displaying distributions, changes over time, proportions, and work schedules. Examples of charts. Examples of charts are Gantt charts for project timelines. Gantt charts used today in software are able to show relationships between activities. Another example is flowcharts to show processes, histograms and box plots to show distributions, bar charts, which include double bar charts to compare different variables. Pie charts can be used to compare parts of a whole. And stacked pie charts can be used to show investment allocations in portfolios over multiple years. Charts for project management. Charts mentioned in the previous slide can be used for different purposes during the project management lifecycle. Charts can be used during the planning phase of project management to visually lay out tasks or milestones to accomplish for a project, as well as show the flow of work or structure of an organization. Charts can also be used during to show the progress of a project or during the closure of a project to show outcomes through data analysis. It is also important not to take project data at face-to-face value and ask yourself questions such as is this data relevant or does it show any breakthroughs? Chart anatomy. Charts used to analyze data have attributes that allow them to convey information. Charts should have a title at the top that indicates the information being displayed. If we are visualizing a chart where one variable is dependent on another, the title may indicate this relationship. The horizontal axis or x-axis may represent a qualitative variable. The vertical axis or the y-axis may represent a quantitative variable. The chart may have a legend which lets the reader know the variables that are being seen. In the following slide, we'll look at an example of a chart. Using a chart for project management. Let's say you're working for a healthcare company that outsources their release of information. Your company recently changed release of information vendors because the previous company performed poorly, and you have the responsibility of overseeing their progress. One of the tasks for you to complete is to prepare a report on the performance of the new release of information company at the end of the first quarter. You've compiled the information from the old company from the previous year's first quarter, as well as information from the first quarter of the new company. You determine that the number of release of information requests received from the previous year's first quarter and this year's first quarter are similar, and you know that you want to compare both companies. Therefore, you choose to use a double bar chart. In choosing the performance measure you want to use, you choose a total number of release of information requests each vendor was able to close out at the end of each month. Using Excel to create a graph, the graph to the right would be an example of this situation. You'd be able to report that the new company is performing above the other company in completing the release of information requests. The red being the new release of information vendor and the blue being the previous release of information vendor. Takeaways and conclusion. There can be a variety of charts that can be used in project management. We looked at using charts for different phases of the project management lifecycle. And we looked at an example of using a double bar chart to show comparisons. This is the end of the presentation, and these are the references. Please leave any comments and questions below. Thank you.